All right, we're here with Jay Chism, and Jay is the director of the Southwest Missouri Research Education Extension Center. That's a big thing to say, isn't it?
It's a big, hard to answer the phone.
But it is. But now you have spearheaded a MOAES grant.
Yeah.
And that's why we're out here today. Tell us about this.
Yeah. The MOAES grant is it's something from the state, in Jefferson City, and it's a workforce development grant.
Okay.
So it's a great program. And what we're doing is we actually said, well, we would like to train people, a workforce, in how to use drones, primarily in agriculture, is how we're starting out. And so it's been quite a process. We've gone through a lot of trainings, getting people involved, kind of a train the trainer program to start with, and then we'll start disseminating the information across the state.
So this is your very first training then?
Yes, yeah,
You're at
it really
the Bradford Research Farm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we came up here to Columbia to do it. We have people come from all over the state, and then we also had Kansas State, who has really a premier, we call it UAS program, an unmanned aircraft program. And so they came and actually did the training for us. And so then now we're kind of learning from them to how we can then be good teachers and good trainers for people across Missouri.
That was a week-long training, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a week long. We had to, of course, there's a test required to be a unmanned drone pilot, basically. And so you have to pass that test. So we took 3 days of training with some imaging, because when you think about drones, you think about, we think in agriculture about spraying and fertilizing, but a big part of it is going to be imaging. How
imaging, like seeing the field?
Yeah, like taking pictures of the field, like looking at fertility, looking at looking at organic matter, looking at all those things.
Very applied stuff for farmers.
You bet.
And the ag professionals.
You bet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should have took that.
Yeah. You should have. You still can.
Oh man, because there's gonna be more of these, aren't there?
Yeah. Once we get the trainers going, we won't do it exactly like Kansas State. We'll put our own our spin on it.
Sure.
But basically, we want to go across the state and really ag professionals, farmers, anybody who's really interested in using this new technology. We want to basically get it out there and really help them be successful and also do it correctly and legally.
Legally, that's a big thing.
Right.
Now, who will do the next training? See, it won't be Kansas State folks.
Yeah, that's right. We'll actually use our in-house folks at Missouri. We're here at University of Missouri. We'll, there's several people in our system. We've got the digital ag program, and there's other people who work within the system. Kevin Bradley and his weed science program. There's a lot of people. We use the agronomic side, so that's the next training for our Train the Trainer program. We'll do a lot more of that, where the people we have will be using the big drones, putting the batteries, doing the chemical mixing, and then applying it on the field. So they'll be comfortable with it when they go out and teach it.
But there's quite a bit of intense training here in the field too.
Yeah. Even right now with the Kansas State program, besides the week-long training in the classroom, we have, they get 4 hours of individual flight training with a pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the drone, you don't think about drones being an aircraft, but it's an aircraft.
Right.
And so we go through the test. We had to learn all about the airports and all about, how airplanes, everything, we're in the air and we're in a flight, flight zone. And so we have to follow those rules like anybody else does who's in air.
So that's how they're showing it here then.
Right. And
also how to actually control the drone. I know Wednesday, I think it was, terrible winds out here, and they were still being able to control the drones in the big winds.
Right. Yeah, it's a little harder in the wind, and it depends on the size of the drone, of course. But all that's also going to play into how we use them agronomically, because the weather's not always going to be good.
Exactly.
So how we use those, but really drones. When I think about in Southwest Missouri in particular, we have a lot of small bottom ground that we use for crop, and some of the fields they're not going to be 1,000 acres.
Right.
They're going to be 50 acres. And so, boy, a drone in something like that and get into some areas that we can't get into necessarily with some spray equipment really helps to use. And so I think we'll see this technology just continue on.
Well, and you said we get wet year, we can start to put our fertilizer on, our fungicides, or spreading cover crops. So, and really that technology is just getting better and better all the time.
All the time, it really is. And so it'll continue to change, and we hope this program will continue to upgrade and change, and will continue to educate the workforce in the future.
So how should the folks out there learn about when the next training is?
Well, right now we're still in the train the trainer part of it. So eventually what we'll do after the first of the year, we'll start offering it to the public.
Okay.
So we've still got a few more months to try to get our training team up to snuff, I guess.
Okay. So what you're doing today, this last couple of weeks, was training the trainer.
Yes.
And
yes.
he's going to go out and train the other folks.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And will there be a charge for the general public?
Oh, sure. A part of this MOAES grant is we have to have a sustainable program. Right now, I mean, some of the equipment and some of the training, you know, the MOAES grant is helping us pay for that, but we have to make it a self-sustainable program. So sure, there'll be a charge for it whenever it goes out to the public.
But just basic expenses.
That's right. We've got to cover our expenses, and sure, we want to be able to upgrade drones, upgrade technology, all those things we have to think about.
But this grant was like $3.4 million.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
It was. It was a good chunk of change, but you know, to go along with it, it's the facilities we needed. You know, we need a lot of things. We need things like trailers to move drones around. We need a place to put them. We need a place to teach drones inside at a lot of our locations. We're spearheading it around all of the research centers. So we cover the state by having a drone center at each one of our research centers for the University of Missouri.
So that really gets the whole state blanketed that way.
Catches the whole state, that's right.
Great. So this is really exciting, and I might have to do this too, because over 55-pound drone payload, that's when you get into regulations different than just amateur having fun.
That's exactly right. If you're doing it commercially, you definitely need this license or or pass the FAA test. But if you're doing anything over 55 pounds, you also have additional waivers. And so all the agriculture zones where we have a payload, they're well over 55 pounds.
Right.
And so there's additional waivers. And those are the kind of things that we want to make sure people in the industry know. Again, so we're getting our registration correctly, we're doing things correctly by the book. Because if there is an accident, you don't want to ever have, you want to make sure you have everything together.
Right, because the liability will go back on the operator.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, this is a fantastic program. We're so thankful for the Missouri, the state, for having these funds and you spearheading that.
Well, we're excited about it. I think, like I said, it's going to be great to have it based at all of the research centers around the state. And I think that really is just going to even draw more people in, and they'll get to see other things that we're doing there as well.
All right. And that $3.4 million, a lot of that goes to upgrading the facility so you can train these across the state.
Exactly, yeah.
So
you bet.
This is fantastic. So after the first year, you'll be looking for advertisements coming out on what? The University of Missouri Extension and other ways.
Extension is really going to help us deliver the program, but we'll be marketing it from the centers, and also we'll be marketing it through Extension as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jay, and it's a great, exciting program, and thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Tim Space.